devious servants comprise the zany, but the term includes milkmaids and peasants. Back then, for those born a serf or a nanny, life was likely hard, short, and unpleasant. Not to mention, wars dotted the region. Men like the captain sought glory and wealth, leaving widows behind every season, who'd have to seduce new husbands by stealth. Horatio just wanted to be a merc. He's why this play's named He Who Was Believed Dead. Isabel, the widow, acted the jerk, trying to lure the chaste lad to her bed. But before we get that love story rolling, Pantaloon finds his gold has been stolen. Pantaloon finds his gold has been stolen. In 1610, Florence, there were no banks. Stored your wealth in your safe or your colon, whether in Scuddy or florins or francs. Pantaloon's coffers often overflowed, despite the fact his son was a deadbeat. Without watchful eye, Flavio borrowed gold to spend keeping his harlots discreet. Of course, that was just a few coins here and there, to be expected with a wastrel son. But this eve, the entire coffer was bare. Not a florin was left, not even one. While the miser searches each nook and cranny, the widow won't sit back on her fanny. The widow won't sit back on her fanny. From her window she watched Horatio train, his locks of gold, his muscles uncanny. So filled with passion, she went half insane. Horatio dreams of the Italian War, fighting the Turk or the Spanish Armada. Perhaps the captain could be his mentor. He'd spent all his coin on a fine spada. Isabel calls down, "I know the captain well. Come inside. I'll make an introduction." Horatio rushes over, rings her doorbell. Meanwhile, Isabel plans her seduction. A noble lad's virtues bout to be stolen. Isabel lurks, with lips moist and swollen. Isabel lurks with lips moist and swollen, while Horatio waits tensely on her chaise longue, plays him a love song on her violin. Then she jumps on his lap, slips him her tongue. She pins him down. She'll get what she's after. "Horatio," she moans, "you're hung like a bull." His pleas for mercy just met by laughter as she reaches down and grabs a handful. The chaste boy seeks not passion, but battle, pushes her away, her offer declined, offended that she treated him like chattel, flees the widow's home, leaves his sword behind. He runs off. Isabel feels dejected. Lies cool the sting of being rejected. Lies cool the sting of being rejected. Pantaloon's outside, looking under a rock. None of his florins have been collected. A plan for revenge she does concoct. "Neighbor," he calls out, "did you see the thief?" Isabel responds, "Oh, I know that whelp. I did spy the crook, and let me be brief. Horatio stole your coins, with Pedro's help." "My servant Pedro stole gold from my chest? Seems he's not as loyal as he portrayed. I'll make a report. Call for their arrest." Pantaloon runs off, feeling quite betrayed. Not satisfied with that single result, she informs the captain of grave insult. She informs the captain of grave insult. He is in the town square seeking recruits. The few who are chosen often exult. They'll earn a uniform with shiny boots. I hope Horatio will come and try out, the captain mused as Isabel walks by. Horatio, she said, he called you a lout, said he'd never fight for such a small fry. A tear comes to the captain's eye. That's cruel. I'll teach him who's a real condottieri. Challenge that arrogant pump to a duel. Won't be enough left of him to bury. Looks like Horatio might get dissected. Pedro gathers all of those affected. Pedro gathers all those affected when he hears there's a warrant for his arrest, upset that his master even suspected that humble Pedro had emptied his chest. Pedro provides proof to indict the real crook. It was Flavio, Pantaloon's bad seed. With that, Pantaloon lets him off the hook. But how to avenge Isabel's bad deed? The pair talk to the captain of her lies. He's angry and wants revenge to be served. Two villains the men agree to chastise. Pedro suggests a cruel prank, well deserved. The first step done to achieve the result, Flavio gets a proposition, adult. Flavio gets a proposition, adult, from Pedro as he sits swilling some gin. I know two things you and I must consult. First, it's with Flamina you wish to sin. Heard from her servant she fancies you too. Says she desires to make the two-backed beast. But she's shy, seeks a secret rendezvous, and for that a hidden room must be leased. But I also heard you came into wealth. If you pay me for my fair expenses, I'll arrange to bring you to her by stealth, where you'll enjoy her with all of your senses. That takes care of the thief. Next is the liar. Horatio's in a position dire. Horatio is in a position dire, is the tale he puts in Isabel's ears. The captain's looking to set him on fire. The boy is in hiding, trembling with fears. Pedro tells the widow he's made a deal. Horatio will trade sex for protection. If from the captain you Horatio conceal, you can have his love, without rejection. Isabel quickly agrees to the pact. Give me his sword as a sign of your word. She does, and provides directions exact, as well as coins for expenses incurred. She waits until dusk, expecting the score. Soon Pedro appears at Isabel's door. Soon Pedro appears at Isabel's door, with a figure dressed in cloak and hood. Round the yard the hidden key they look for. It's where she left it, in a pile of wood. The lamps are unlit, all is very dark, in case the captain is lurking nearby. Took the long way through alleys and the park. 'Twas done to ensure Horatio won't die. Once in the boudoir, Pedro softly states, Flavio, wait here, I'll bring in Flamina. Speak not, just disrobe, and pray to the fates. She's as randy as a wild hyena. She intends to ride him like a destrer. The widow burns with white-hot desire. The widow burns with white-hot desire. She slips into the room, starts to undress. Last time she made love was 5 years prior. Horatio's pizzle she seeks to caress. She jumps the boy, throws him onto the bed. Strange that his stomach feels a bit thicker, and there seems to be less hair on his head. Instead of cologne, he smells of liquor. But no matter, Isabel starts to think. 'Tis but a trifle, a trick of the night. She slakes her lustful thirst, and deep does she drink of manly Horatio's carnal delights. Neither lover has an idea what's in store. Hours making love on the bed and the floor. Hours making love on the bed and the floor, till morning comes, the couple's passion spent. Suddenly, at dawn, there comes an uproar. Seems the lovers made love without consent. "You're not Horatio," Isabel exclaims. "And you're not Flamina," shouts Flavio. "Both. This is so gross. I feel so ashamed. I need a shower. You'd better just go." Flavio is slow. He can't find his socks. Dressing and leaving should not be this hard. Isabel can't stand to see this Lamox, so she flees her house to wait in the yard. This dumb play's moral will be revealed soon. Those wronged have been righted under new moon. Those wrong have been righted under new moon. As Isabel flees her house, steps outside. The captain is there, humming a tune. "I dueled poor Horatio, and he died. Thanks for alerting me of that knave's slight." Her cruel lies have left Isabel distraught. If he's truly dead, she can't make this right. But one more lesson still needs to be taught. Flavio comes down, runs smack into his dad. "Son, this widow's honor you did besmirch. Only one way for scandal not to be had. You must marry her. Let's head to the church." Thus are made whole all those who have been hewn. In this tale, the captain and Pantaloon. In this tale, the captain and Pantaloon get more than the two who got a spouse. The captain gets a man for his platoon, and Pantaloon gets a bum out of his house. Horatio appears. His sword is returned. He's off to join the captain's campaign. Pedro gives his master the florins he's earned. The four conspirators toast with champagne. Isabel learned not to cross retainers. Flavio learned not to steal from his sire. The audience, enjoyed entertainers, suffer the consequence of being a liar. Underlings are oft schemy and planny. Devious servants comprise the zany.